What is going on YouTube? This is Jim back with another video, and today I want to give you guys my impressions on Google's Project Stream. Now, if you've been following the news right now, you know that Google has been working diligently on bringing streaming game service right to your Windows browser via Project Stream, and they have an open beta of sorts going on right now with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So if you sign up on the website and you are selected, you can participate in this beta and play along. Basically, they're giving the game away for free. So if you're a fan of Assassin's Creed Odyssey or any Assassin's Creed game, you may want to check this beta out. How does it work? Well, the technology actually processes everything at Google's data center. So there is no load at all on your computer. Now, this is very similar to what Steam did with the Steam Link, although unlike the Steam Link that is just taking processing power of your computer within your home and broadcasting it across your local intranet at your house, basically your own network, this is actually taking data from a Google server and processing on there, and you are getting the visual image on your computer. That means you don't have to have a good graphics card to experience nice 3D graphics. That means you don't have to worry about any kind of processing power at all. I think the implications of this are really limitless, and that is what the streaming service is all about. You could potentially play this on your cell phone. You could play this on any device capable of receiving a video signal and taking in some sort of inputs. Now, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a open world exploration game. I'm not going to be reviewing that. I'm more interested in the actual streaming service. So I tried Assassin's Creed Odyssey on both my keyboard and mouse and with my Xbox One Elite controller. And I have to say I was thoroughly impressed. There are some graphical limitations. I'll talk about that in a second. But in terms of input, which is what really matters for a gamer, I noticed absolutely no lag. And if you had not told me that I was playing this on a streaming service, I would not have known. That is saying a lot for somebody who really enjoys these Twitch shooters where every millisecond counts. There was no lag whatsoever. Rotating my camera around wildly, rotating my mouse around wildly, clicking, jumping, no commands were ever lost, nothing ever ghosted. The game just worked. And it was really, really cool actually, because I started the beta with my keyboard and mouse, and then I ran upstairs and got my Elite controller, and as soon as I plugged that in and started wiggling the analog stick, just like on a local Windows-based computer, immediately it recognized that, and I continued playing on my controller. The nice thing was, additionally, all the vibration features worked, and all the button mapping was there. It just worked, and that is an amazing testament for what this service could be. Now, there are some limitations. If you're somebody like me who likes really nice, sharp graphics, that cutting 4K HDR experience, ultra widescreen support here on my local computer, you're going to be disappointed. Obviously, there has to be limitations in processing power, processing something far, far away and bringing it to your local computer via the internet. Now, I have a pretty good internet connection. I'm getting about 100 to 115 down and about 11 up. So I'm doing pretty good there. I mean, obviously, fiber would be more appreciated. Looking at you, AT&T, you've been waiting for a while now. But all kidding aside, my internet speed is not the limitation here. There's only so much you can do with data processing and how long it takes to encode and decode videos and that sort of thing. And I think they did it right by focusing on that core gameplay experience and limiting the graphics. Now, what do I mean by limiting graphics? Well, if there was pop-in or there was any weird texturing thing, I'm going to assume that was a Assassin's Creed Odyssey problem. Obviously, no game has limitless draw distance. There is always pop-up. There are always rendering issues. That's just the way technology is. What I'm talking about, though, is the picture quality itself was definitely very muted and very flat. Obviously, there wasn't a lot of HDR stuff. When you take a video and you decode it the way that this Google Stream has done, the Project Stream has done, you're going to lose fidelity, and you definitely notice it here. You can really tell it when you're in a dark area, like in a cave or you're looking at a shadow. The walls look like they're crawling because the pixels aren't really entirely sure if they should be dark or gray or what scale they should be. So you get a lot of motion when there should be a static image. This is somewhat disappointing, but understandable. You know, you think of when you watch a video like through Amazon or through Netflix, they're able to pump up that processing power because it's already known what's going to happen. And you could be watching things a few seconds behind as it kind of renders and buffers and upscales it to a proper resolution with those nice, vibrant colors. Here on a video game where the game doesn't know what I'm going to do next, am I going to run into that cave or am I going to do a 360 or a 180 rather and run back out? The game doesn't have that ability to kind of preload, so you're limited in how much the game can process and send to you. And as a result of that encoding technology, everything looks flat and muted. It's very hard to distinguish draw distance or quest objectives that should really pop out over the regular environment because of this technology. I did a video some time ago, and I'll post a link in the description box below, where I played with the Steam Link and I played some Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. I think that is a very good indication of the graphic quality you could expect to see. Now, the big difference here was I noticed no overarching pixelation. You know, sometimes when you're watching something on YouTube or when you're streaming and your internet connectivity kind of stutters for a second and everything looks overly pixelated like a broken GIF or something. This had none of that, and I was thoroughly impressed because of that. So you're not going to get any of those weird artifacting at all. You're just going to have a very muted image throughout the entire game. If you dork around with some of the options like I tried to do, you'll find they're extremely limited. They've taken all of that out. While you can obviously toggle controls in the game, such as difficulty and that sort of thing, when you get into the nitty-gritty, the system settings, the audio settings, the graphical settings, you'll find they're extremely lacking. The only thing you can actually toggle is brightness. You cannot toggle any sort of screen resolution. You can't do any sort of trade-offs in frame rate versus draw distance or anything like that. There was no ultra-wide support, so I have black borders on my ultra-wide monitor. Very, very limited. But the fact that there's absolutely no server load on my computer, the fact that I could take a $100 Google Chromebook, plug it into a decent internet connection, and be able to play a cutting-edge AAA game is nothing short of revolutionary and absolutely amazing. So I'm very, very excited to see what happens next in the service. I think this is going to be a great alternative for people who don't want to spend a lot of money on high technology or who just simply don't want to delve into those somewhat steep entry point of computer graphics and understanding what kind of settings and playing with all that stuff. This is really a turnkey solution for most people, and I hope that it brings more people into the genre of gaming. I hope people aren't as nervous around gaming when this becomes more mainstream, and I'm curious to see what kind of pricing options or what is really next. I know this is just a beta right now, really for Google just to kind of stress test the service. I'll be curious to see what happens in the future, but for now, the name of the game is Project Stream. I highly endorse it. I think it's amazing. For me personally, I'm obviously going to stick to the local stuff here. I do have a nice computer. I do have a nice television. I don't mind spending that money for that experience. Obviously, gaming is my hobby. So for me, I will always pay the extra to get that nice frame rate and that nice texture and that vibrant HDR signal on my nice television. But for everybody else, or for people who are just starting to dabble into PC gaming, I think this is a great alternative, and I'm really, really excited to see where the technology takes us next. And with that, I'm going to close out this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you got into the Project Stream beta. Let me know what you think about the streaming technology as a whole. I'm really curious to see if Xbox sort of responds to this. There's been rumors of that in the next console. Google obviously shows it can be done, so I guess we'll have to wait and see what the competition comes with next Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.